The rain tasted like metal. Jessa choked, spitting it out, but the taste lingered, a sickening reminder of the chaos she's endured. The air hung thick and heavy, saturated with humidity, and the cloying sweetness of something alien. She leaned against the ruined console, a fractured metal biting into her ribs, a dull echo of the pain radiating from her dislocated shoulder, partially reset by Reyes. It wasn't perfect, but it was enough to allow her to move. Thorne, standing a few feet away, seemed oblivious to the storm, his gaze fixed on the monolithic structure dominating the central plaza. A colossal obsidian spire, pulsing with an internal light that seemed to warp the very air around it. He hadn't spoken since they'd been dragged from the medical bay, not a single word of explanation, reassurance, or even acknowledgement of the horror unfolding around them. His movements were fluid, unnatural, almost graceful. Thorne, Jessa asked, her voice raw and strained. "What is that thing?" He didn't turn. His voice, when it came, was flat, toneless. A focal point. A nexus. For what? Reyes' voice, a distorted husk of its former self, echoed Jessa's thought. Her skin was a sickly jade green, her eyes vacant and unseeing. She stood stiffly, a puppet dancing to an unseen string. Harmony, Thorne replied, the word devoid of emotion. Balance. Jessa felt a wave of nausea. She remembered the containment protocols, the hurried briefings, the whispers of Project Chimera, all cloaked in layers of bureaucratic jargon and classified markings. Now, staring at the spire, at the rain-soaked plaza, at Reyes, she understood. The truth was far more terrifying than anything she could have imagined. "They're controlling you, aren't they?" she said, her voice trembling. Thorne finally turned his head, his face an unsettling mask of serene calm. "I am merely facilitating." A guttural chanting filled the plaza, rising from the ranks of the others that transformed. They moved in unison, their jade green skin glistening in the rain, their faces blank, their eyes fixed on the spire. A sound resonated deep within Jessa's bones, a discordant vibration that threatened to shatter her mind. "Reyes!" Jessa tried again, desperate for a sign, a flicker of recognition in the vacant eyes of her former comrade. "Reyes, can you hear me?" A slow, deliberate blink. A single, almost imperceptible flicker. But it wasn't Reyes. It was something else. Something asterisk wearing asterisk Reyes. "Resistance is efficient." Reyes' distorted voice croaked, the words laced with an alien cadence. "Embrace the convergence." Jessa stumbled back, pressing her hand against her temple, trying to block out the chanting, the distorted voice, the overwhelming sense of despair. She tried to reach for her comm-unit, desperate to re-establish contact with the asterisk valiant asterisk, but her fingers fumbled with the damaged controls. "Comms are down," she muttered, more to herself than anyone else. "They're blocking it." A new voice, clearer and more resonant than the chanting, echoed in her mind. A voice that seemed to bypass her ears entirely, speaking directly to her thoughts. "Asterisk, you cannot resist. Assimilation is inevitable." Asterisk. Jessa recoiled, a breath catching in her throat. It was them. The others. The beings behind the spire. They were inside her head. "Get out!" she screamed, clenching her fists, focusing all her will against the invading presence. The mental pressure intensified, a crushing weight threatening to overwhelm her. Images flooded her mind, swirling patterns of light, vast landscapes of alien beauty, and a sense of oneness. A feeling of being part of something vast and ancient and powerful. She fought back, clinging to her memories, her identity, her humanity, the faces of her family, the warmth of the sun on her skin, the camaraderie of her squad. She forced herself to remember the sting of her training, the discipline, the unshakable belief in her duty. Asterisk, such resistance. A commendable, but ultimately futile, effort. Asterisk. The mental assault intensified, the alien presence probing, searching for weaknesses, for vulnerabilities. Jessa felt her resolve weakening, her grip on reality slipping. She tasted the metal again, stronger now, bitter and corrosive. Suddenly, a spark of defiance ignited within her, a memory vivid and clear, her father's words, spoken on her 18th birthday. Asterisk, never give up, Jessa, even when the world tells you to. Asterisk. She focused on that memory, channeling its strength, its resilience. She pushed back against the invading presence, forcing it to retreat, even momentarily. "I won't," she gasped, her voice trembling but resolute. "I won't let you take me." A surge of energy pulsed from the spire, slamming into her, knocking her to her knees. The pain was excruciating, but she refused to yield. She focused on her breath, grounding herself in the present moment. "Lieutenant Chan, report." The voice, faint but clear, crackled through the damaged comm-unit. It was Thorne, but it wasn't the voice she knew. It was strained, almost desperate. "Thorne, can you hear me?" Jessa shouted, struggling to her feet. "Jessa, don't resist," the voice pleaded. It's too late. Join us, Jessa. Embrace me. The signal cut out abruptly. Static filled the comm unit. Jessa stared at the device, her heart pounding in her chest. Thorne was fighting back. There was still hope. She activated her emergency beacon, sending out a coded distress signal, a desperate plea for rescue. Then she turned her attention back to the spire, to the monolithic structure dominating the plaza. She knew she was outnumbered, outmatched. She knew the odds were stacked against her. But she refused to surrender. She would fight. She would resist. She would hold the line, even if it meant standing alone against the tide of assimilation. Because if she didn't, there would be nothing left to save.